it's just changed. You know, around 2007, it just switched over for some reason.
Yeah.
Uh, but to answer your question, I think fuller, it's important for me to convey that I really care about who came before me. I really care about the work that was done before me. I really care about the success that happened before me, and success leaves clues. So it's up to me to be a great detective and to use my magnifying glass properly. And I think in order to do that, we just care about the work. We care about truth. We care about emotion. We care about dropping in. We care about listening. A lot of times people think that, acting is very simple and easy. And I say to those people, you've seen bad movies before, right? And they go, oh, yeah. And I go, well, that's because the people didn't really care about doing the work. They didn't care about studying what true acting is. And you must be a great listener. You must be a good listener. You must listen in order to respond, in order to react. Think about it. Acting is
Yes.
reacting to
Yes.
what you hear. You're not in the scene by yourself.
Yes.
And it's not about overacting. Sometimes less is more. A lot of times less is more.
Yes.
And it's very difficult to be on screen and not to say anything and still convey great emotion. And so to those people who desire to be actors, study, study acting, put in the work, put in the time. It's been said there's a certain amount of time, a certain amount of hours that makes a person an expert, a professional. Well, you've got to put in that time. You got to put in those hours. You gotta look, man.
Yes.
I eat and breathe this stuff sometimes. Where my wife even asks me, "Who am I talking to right now?" You
Right.
know, because you may be so deep into a character that you're speaking in the character's head and
Yeah.
not necessarily in Darrin's thoughts, but I might be so deep in the character's thoughts that I may say something and she might go, "Who are you today?" And so
Yes.
sometimes we've got to be cognizant of that as well.
I think that is amazing. And the one thing that I'm glad that you don't negate is how hard it is to do this, to put the work in. A lot of people, you make it look easy. It is flawless on the screen, but they do not realize the studying and the amount of hours that you've actually put into the craft. And that definitely is what wins a lot of our respect because, again, it shows through when we see you on screen and you're emulating that character.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to shift a little bit because, this whole paradigm shift that we've been going through in the world, I really feel like everybody's been talking about the pivot, everybody's been talking about shifting. And so I see that as you continue to grow, you also continue to evolve. So, with that being said, you've recently joined the Experience on Demand family, which I am so glad to be able to call you a family member. But what was the reason you decided with with experience on demand? And what is your vision for being on this platform?
Well, I have to say I am just following in the footsteps of Ice Cube, Will Smith. Um, you know, Clearly so many people. Tyler Perry, who owns his own, Oprah, who owns her own.
Yes.
I'm just following, the plans that they laid down, James Brown, Michael Jackson, Prince. It was about ownership.
Yes.
It's about owning your own masters. It's about being in the space and place of ownership. And XOD afforded me the opportunity to do that. And I wholeheartedly said yes. And I wholeheartedly thought about what is it that I want to say and what is it that I want to present.
Mhm.
What is it that I want to represent or represent to people? And it's about those things that I care about. So I'm bringing the movies that I've directed that people didn't know about. I'm
Right.
bringing the movies that I produced that people didn't know about. And I'm bringing several works from other people, other directors, other producers to my channel that are worthy of being seen. And I'm going to be introducing other artists as well. And so with the reality shows, with the other movies, with the other TV series, we're going to build a network the same way BET, MTV, UMC, Netflix has done. I believe come as you are, you just can't stay as you are. And when people talk about paradigm shifts, I want to make something clear so it doesn't just become this shadow word. A paradigm shift is when you actually choose to change your habits and
Yes.
you apply new habits daily.
Yes.
Then the paradigm actually shifts. Then the shifts happen. When you change your old habits into new habits and you start to master self, the paradigm must shift. It is the law. And
Mm.
so let's not just use words without applying the definitions of these
Yes.
words. And so there has been a great paradigm shift with me, my mindset. I'm older, I'm wiser. I've been through a great deal that most people have no idea about. I've been attacked on many levels in this industry, and I have been able to thrive, not just survive. I have
Amen.
been able to reinvent myself by choice. I have been able to live a life that I have chosen for myself to be my form of expression to the world. People always ask me, what is it that I want to leave behind? And I'm not leaving somebody to write my obituary. I'm writing it as I live.
That's right.
So what I do and what I say and my actions that I take, I'm leaving something for them to write about. Like they can write about me being on the first ever all black cast, all black produced, all black written, drama series, Soul Food.
Yes.
They can write that Darrin Denson created dance steps that the whole world has done with Bye Bye Bye. And I,
Yes.
the MTV Music Award, being a street dancer. They can write about me being, a dancer turned actor and joining the fraternity, if you will, of Gregory Hines, um, John Travolta, Fred Astaire, Michael Jackson, people who danced that became actors as well, you
Yes.
know. So they can write that about me. They can write that I also am an author. They can write about the things that I see, meaning what you can perceive, you can achieve. I'm a living testimony of see it, say it, do it.
I love
And
that.
I may not have done it as great as other people, but I would say some of the things that I have done really speak for themselves. And
Yes.
so I'm not trying